Welcome to Traveling with a Chair. If we're meeting for the first time, my name is Ken Edmonds, and on this channel I help people travel more, spend less, and I provide information that's helpful to those that travel with a disability. So I showed up at the Garden Cafe before it was even open, and the person, one of the people in there working, let me in so I could shoot some video. I try really hard when I shoot ship video to avoid getting people in the video. Sorry, guy. There's a limit to how much you can avoid people. One of the things that we really liked on the Jewel was when you went to the buffet, and we didn't go to the buffet often, but they had a lot of different stations available, so it flowed really well. I have been on ships where the buffet is kind of like a long linear process, and they just didn't flow well. This one, every station, there was at least a couple of them. So there was a couple of cold, a couple of hot stations. For breakfast, there were at least 3 or 4 places that they were making omelets, so that made it really nice. You could go in and you could get an omelet fairly quickly. You didn't have a huge wait in line. And omelets were, as far as omelets went, they had quite a few choices of ingredients for your omelets. It varied a little bit sometimes from day to day, but you could always get bacon and ham and cheese and spinach, onions, mushrooms. So there were a lot of good choices. And they had a really nice selection of both hot and cold items. The bacon, I would say, was the least consistent, because in the dining room you could order crispy bacon and it was always crispy. Sometimes on the hot, you can see a pile of bacon right there, in fact. Sometimes on the hot stations the bacon was nice and crispy, and sometimes it wasn't quite as crispy. Though the one thing I would say, because there were multiple stations, if you didn't like the bacon on one station, you could check one of the other places out. There were several places that you could get coffee and juice. We're going to head out now in just a second. We're actually going to take a look back to the left. They have a lot of tables right by the windows, which is really nice. One thing I liked about the layout of the buffet and the seating area is you could get in the buffet and not be crowded by the tables, and you could go through the table areas, nice and easily. So the traffic flowed pretty well. There's this path of tile here. In just a second, we're going to look over. Yeah, here's the juice bar where they would make fresh juices, which are not included in your beverage packages. And then again, another station, and this station's nice because you can go get coffee and tea and drinks without having to actually go back into the buffet area, which really helped to reduce congestion. We're continuing out toward the back. There's going to be this area off to the right is where there's a staircase and elevator area. So you would actually come up right in the middle of the Garden Cafe, and there would be one of the young ladies there saying "washi washi." And again, all of these tables, and you're no more than one table away from the window, which makes the view really nice. One more section here, and then we're going to start headed out here in just a second into we're going out into the great outdoors. And this was a really nice place, and in fact at the very end of this video you're going to want to stay to watch the amazing footage there. Again, it had been wet at night, so this morning they're out cleaning off the moisture off of the deck. But what you'll see is they had basically 2 sides to this, and they were a fairly complete buffet, not the variety they had on the inside, but they had a nice selection of food available, and both sides were duplicated. And again, you could get omelets made out there as well. So they really have done a nice job on the Jewel with trying to make the food process as easy as you can make it. Here's I forget the name of this bar, but this was the bar right on the stern. And you see the message. I won't talk about that. But look at this view here. This is from the great outdoors. And imagine sitting out there and eating breakfast or lunch, and you have this to look at. This is part of the reason that Alaska is our favorite place to cruise.
I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did enjoy, please go ahead and hit the like and the subscribe buttons. We've got a lot more videos coming up. You're really going to enjoy them. We'll see you next time.